Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking things to the next level again and using glue gun, resin and pouring to make some spectacular tulips. I'm also going to show you some basic painting techniques anyone can try. Let's get right into it. Also, this piece is for sale now on my website abcreativeofficial.com. Last week's piece sold in 2 hours, so be sure to nab it quick. So last week we are doing trees. Today I can do some flowers again, and you know how I love flowers, and I did want to do this type of flower for a long time, and finally there's no season for tulips, but I still want to do some colorful tulips. This is 50 by 20. The first job is to sketch some tulips quickly. I looked online at the varieties and they are endless. I don't know which ones I like the most. They are absolutely beautiful. So I started sketching roughly. If I did it straight away on canvas, I would have problems with rubbing off. But if I do it on tracing paper, or this is actually baking paper, I can change. I can just copy one and change position of the other one. So I'm just keeping it open at the moment. I think I want these longer. Well, because I started this one higher, now I don't have space for it. But anyway, so something like that. So I am rubbing this section off. There will be another bud. So roughly that's the shape. One petal might be just opening. Let's do that. And then I do want some buds. So let me just put 1 or 2 little buds. And I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 perhaps. I think I'm quite happy with the arrangement. So what I will do now, I'm just going over the lines that I definitely want to keep, and I'll press it down onto my canvas. This is a 2B pencil. This is a soft graphite pencil, so it'll be very easy to transfer the image. And I'm doing something that I've never shown, but I always should have done it. When you transfer your image, just tape it down so it doesn't move. And now you can transfer it just going over the lines with a pencil, or use any blunt edge and just press it down. Or, like I usually do, I just use my nails, which is not the best idea. Now I take it up. So this is the imprint. I will definitely make a leaf somewhere here, like folded. And I have to finish this one. Well, it's time to start with glue gun. Which one should I start with? I'll go with this one. I try to do at least one straight line if possible. Doesn't always work that well. I think when I finish all my flower series, I'll be quite proficient with the glue guns. I wish I had much smaller nozzle. Didn't flow really nicely here. As you can see, I'm doing these sections really slowly because that requires some precision. Hope you can see that. Of course, I could have less detail on those petals, but I thought it would be nice. And also, I do like a good challenge, you know. If it was too easy, I don't think I'll be very happy. It's nicely joining those sections when they are still wet. See that? Because they kind of blend well together. So, one ready. You just have to do it slowly, and then you can control more. Thank you very much for your suggestions for which flower to make next. If it's wet, you can still fix it, see? Apparently some of the glue guns are like non-drip. I have to test it to believe it. Thin nozzle and non-drip will be perfect. So if you're watching this and you've got a glue gun, that's amazing. Please, please, please leave a comment for me. I'll be very, very grateful. Finished. I can have a break. And it's only 11:15 p.m. of course. I think I quite like the composition, and we've got 7 flowers. Before I pour, while I was doing it, I was thinking, what colors do I want for the background? I do want my tulips to be multicolored. I think it'll be the safest thing if I do the background with greens and creams. And this time, this is the first time I actually am thinking that I will do the leaves in color as well. This is the 4th design in my glue gun flower series, and I must say I've improved dramatically. Do you want to know at what? At removing the bits, the hairy bits. Yes, that's the best removed piece. I've been trying to choose some muted colors for the background. What do we have here? These were my old mixes from the Queen's Anne's lace. That was the pale green plus burnt umber and burnt sienna with titanium white. This is my own mix of one of these with a bit of blue and again white. This, however, was a champagne by my Artscape with white. So I tinted them a lot with white. I made my own mixes. And now my pouring mixture is usually, most of the time, is 1 part of paint to 1 part of my pouring mix. My pouring mix is 50-50 water and PVA glue and 1 part of Floetrol. However, in these cases, I put lots of water because they are very, very runny. Can you see that? I might even put more water. There's no build-up, basically. The build-up that just disappears straight away. So I find the really thin mix very, very good for the job that I'm going to do. And also, then it dries super quickly. Let's just put it higher. All right. So, ready? Now warning, and serious warning, my crazy hairdryer. And some of you in the previous episode were so excited about the nozzle. Please don't do it this way because it's dangerous and I don't want to feel guilty thinking that you may get cut or that gets heated as well. You know, I am an art teacher. I'm used to various odd things and tools. Oh, it feels so bad just spreading it like that, but covering all my work. Now a bit of light green. Oh, those greens on their own look nice. Some blues, greeny blues. This is the dominant color. Still not sure about this yellow. But since I put it here, I'll just use a bit. Okay, bit more darker. Not sure. Okay. Ah, the most exciting bit for me. Crazy hairdryer. If the yellow looks ugly, I'll just remove it. So no worries. Okay, the lowest setting. You know what? I don't mind the yellow actually. I don't mind it. Obviously need a bit more color here. So what else do we need here? A bit of blue. Okay, so what do I think? Still not happy. I'm still not happy. Yes, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I am leaving it. Now I was wondering whether to remove the paint from the petals, but as you can see, I'm not cleaning them really. I'm just taking off some of the paint. I don't want such a thick layer of paint. I am using titanium white and I'm very quickly covering all the petals with white. And even the partitions, because they will be different colored. I will be adding different color anyway. Super quick. Slight change of plan, as it usually happens with me during the process. I reconsider and I adapt. I have to adapt. What will look good? Something that will not be taken away from the background and will not look bad together. Anything to do with cream and light, and yeah, even white looks good, but I'm not going to leave them white. So I'll show you the possibilities. So I've been looking quite like this one, and these will probably be too dramatic, and I don't think that red will look nice with these. Just yellows? That's a possibility. Oh, that's a nice one. So here we do have yellow, but we also have this lovely peachy pink. I love this one. I think this is the winner. My goodness, I actually found the right color, but this is pouring. I can see both colors in here. I've got lemon yellow, but I'm going to tint it with white because it's absolutely too vibrant, so I want a muted color. I also found champagne by my Artscape. That might be useful as well. So let's make some colors now. If you don't have painter's palette, you can just use your plate. And this is the wrapping of the canvas. I actually utilize every piece of rubbish. White, lemon yellow, and this is going to be my first layer. Is that the yellow of the tulip? I think the ends are actually pretty vibrant. So this is the first tulip color. And with this color I am coating everything, including the partitions as well. I don't think I'll need another layer of this yellow. That will be done just in one go. Touching up the edges, then I might use a bit of this color. And this week I just wanted to treat myself to more colors and make the flowers so much more cheerful because it's my birthday. I just wonder whether to use this one. I don't think my background was dry yet. I should probably wait a bit longer. Oh, I think that this one is going to look really nice. I like it. I'm going to leave the first base to dry because I've noticed I'm taking off some color, and I'll come back in half an hour. Touch of carnation pink. It's a really nice color. They do actually have bigger bottles now, so the colors I really like, I need to order them in those bigger bottles. And this color is actually lighter than the peach color. Let me just take some black paint, a little bit of water, and the same way as I did the rest of the series, I will be just covering that with black. And wiping most of it off. Remember, we just want some shadows. Messy, isn't it? That's probably the quickest way to add some depth at the edges. It's much easier than painting. I find it much easier. And also it gives you a slightly kind of uneven look. I don't want it perfect. This design's got a lot of lines. See, the stems will be much more visible like this. I am doing it in sections and I'm wiping it off quite quickly so the paint doesn't get dry. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to wipe it off so easily. I'm going to add some deeper values to the leaves now. Pale green. How pale is that? I definitely don't want this green here, so I'm going to break it with burnt umber. Maybe even a bit of black. As you can see, I'm not using much. I'm not even sure if I want to cover all of them. How about this nice pale cactus green? Just use a bit of that. And some of this. When you're adding black, just make sure you add a really small amount. Black goes a really long way. I really enjoy painting over pour. I think it's so satisfying. Just making everything slightly darker now. I've actually decided to add a bit of lighter green on this side, using the same metallic paint but with titanium white because I don't want it so shiny. I think this is more of a tulipy color, but it gives us a nice variety. Oh no, look at my hand. At the moment we've got this interesting, very muted, I would say like retro, maybe 50s color scheme. I don't know why, but they kind of, the colors remind me of some posters from the 50s. Before I add some more color, and I am going to add some more color, I'm going to do the edges using gold, and I'm thinking which gold would be better. I usually use this one, my favorite, but I might try the lighter one. Maybe I'll try one leaf with this and then the other one with the lighter one, and we'll see the difference. That should give us some contrast with the background, it will stand out more. So this is the proper gold. And now let's try this one. Oh, you see, it's much lighter. Now this one looks like bronze, even though it's not. See how it's going to look on the leaf. I think we can see the difference. This is much lighter. Well, personally, it's just a matter of your preference, but I think that this gold covers better. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do the first layer with this, and then I'll lighten it up on top. I think this way I can use both. So now I'm going over the rest very quickly. I'm going to create coral, and I want to show it to you here so you can see really well how I'm mixing it. This is scarlet red. We basically want primary red, but this is very similar, I think. Now yellow, titanium white. It's a bit contaminated, but I'm sure it's going to be all right. So taking some of the red, a little bit of yellow, and you just keep looking at it, and if you think it needs a bit more white, then just blend in some white. I think I wanted a slightly lighter color. Very nice. Okay, so that was a super quick coral, and I think I'm ready to add some of my shadows. What I'll put some aside and then add white to one part, so I've got darker and lighter. And now I've got two values, lighter and darker. I might do even a third one. As you can see, I can't stop. I love mixing colors. So we've got even this. You've noticed that I am darkening the edges because that's where the petals will be the darkest, and especially in between them. What do you think of this color now? I think that's the color I wanted. Now a really small amount of this darkest one, just at the very bottom, and especially on the right side, because that's where my imaginary shadow is. So what I'll do now, I'll just add some light highlights. Since we're into painting now, I think I am going to take a bit of black. This is my pouring mix now, and a little bit of this color. I just want to add black to this, going over my coral, because I thought this side needs to be darker, and along some of the lines. Again, you may think, oh, she's just going too far. Just ignore this part. The very last thing I want is some super light highlights, and I've got this titanium white with a bit of yellow and this peach. It's just the light shining on top. Don't you think they look better now with the white? Final touches with just pure white now. It doesn't matter that's yellow underneath, we just want some sunlight, and that's it. And I probably leave it. This is probably the first time that I'm actually painting for longer. I wonder what you think, and please let me know in the comments if that's useful. And as usual, pouring is the starting point, but we can get really, really much further. We can learn some basics of painting. So these colors, that was my inspiration. I think kind of similar. I'm ready to mix the resin and apply it just to the flowers. I've decided not to resin the leaves. I think the flowers will stand out nicely. This is the resin I'm going to use. It's Mastercast by Elicam, which is perfect for artwork. 1:1, that means 1 part of resin is mixed with 1 part of hardener. I've decided to use 100 ml, which is way too much for the tulips. However, I am going to use leftover, and I'm going to create a little arrangement in these just with leftover resin with some flowers. So now I am mixing it really well. Please wear gloves, wear a respirator when using resin. Always scrape the edges, so make sure that those two ingredients combine really well. I'll be mixing for 3-4 minutes. Can you see all the bubbles at the moment? But no worries, they'll be all gone. I think I'm going to use a really small stick because I wanted the resin to get into all the tiny little sections. Start with this one. You see, that's the reason I wanted to have all the areas enclosed. The glue gun creates a barrier, and I can create a really nice dome with this resin. Just applying really carefully, as if that was a necklace or as if it was a pendant. The one thing I don't want any resin outside of the flower. One done. Again, that reminds me of stained glass window. I wonder if I could make a lamp. That's something to think about. Just making sure that all the edges are touched. So this is my second painting in this glue gun and resin series. The other one is actually quite popular is the iris. If you haven't seen it, there's a link here. I wonder which one do you prefer. Let me show you the air bubbles now. See that? It's going to disappear when I torch it with my chef's torch. So quickly. The colors are becoming so vibrant now. Well, there we are. I've really loved this glue gun flower series because there are so many creative techniques involved. Let me know what you thought of this one in the comments, and of course I would like to hear which one in the series is your favorite. Don't forget that this piece is for sale on my website, and if you like the video, consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I have a new one premiering every Saturday. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!